All right, friends, we have 2 weeks. We have 2 weeks until the craziness happens. Now, I know a whole lot of you guys have already gone out there and voted, and good for you. A bunch of you are like me, are going to vote in a little bit. Don't wait. If you have the opportunity to go for it, then go for it, okay? But I think a lot of us are concerned that things are going to go sideways on November 6th, November 7th. We're concerned about where things go. Now, I've been part of other countries' elections. I've lived through a few of them. Places where things are not quite as stable as the United States typically is. And I'm going to use some of these insights to kind of help you think through 5 particular things that you need to get squared away. Some of these things are going to be like, they sound kind of familiar. Other things are going to be like, Steve, why that? Because I've lived through some of these things. I've been in a van that got mobbed by in India during local elections. You see the communists with the communist flags marching on the streets. You kind of feel something, you know what I mean? Other countries, just a lot of instability and what happens with that. So let's get into these 5 things you need to square away. First thing, stock up on gas. So whatever your car or vehicle uses, so if you have diesel, then stock up on diesel. Now, you probably already have that squared away, or at least you kind of do. If you need to rotate some gas, rotate the gas. If you need to refill it because you're not cutting grass anymore. You know, for a lot of us up in the north, you don't need to cut grass anymore, so you're not needing to have a lot of gas on hand, so maybe you kind of let that slide. Well, friends, I strongly suggest you stock up now. Why? Stations have a tendency to go dry during power outages, right? Power outages happen and nobody's getting gas. We know that from storms, all that kind of stuff. So if there's any issues with the power grid, yeah, there's not going to be any gas. Okay, is that necessarily going to be directly related to election issues? Possibly not. But gas runs out when people panic, too. When people are trying to flee, they all go to the gas station. And they tank up to go somewhere. And when a lot of people suddenly go to the gas station all at once, the gas stations tend to go empty. They are set up for normal amount of gasoline consumption. And when people increase that by 15, 20%, there's no gas left. And it takes them a while to get the tankers and everything like that. So if people freak out in your area, because I don't know, some people start marching somewhere, or the police are doing a crackdown, or people are like, let's get out of town because things are going crazy. Don't be the person without gas. That might mean also just keeping your car topped up, but having some extra tanks of gas, some 5-gallon jugs. Even if your car is fully topped up, being able to put those 5-gallon jugs in the back of your car can give you a lot more range, so you don't have to stop. If there's unrest in your area, police have been known to shut down gas stations. Okay, I don't know if you know this, but like sometimes people use gasoline for nefarious purposes. And in order to stop that, sometimes they just shut down the gas stations. I haven't seen that happen too much in the United States, but I've seen it overseas. So get your gas now and stay topped up. All right, that's number 1. Number 2, medical stuff. They try to keep hospitals open, but when there's lots of people getting hurt, hospitals get overwhelmed. I mean, we already hear plenty of reports of people who need medical procedures, scans and stuff like that. They're overwhelmed as it is. Imagine your area, a whole bunch of people go downtown to go do something or whatever, and a whole bunch of people get hurt. They get clubbed in the head, they get stampeded by a crowd, whole bunch of people get hurt. Well, you may not be seen for a while. you need to be your own doctor. You need your family to be your own doctors. And what's the best thing to get squared away with here? Two things primarily. Antibiotics and any prescriptions that you may need. We do recommend Jace Medical. They make that easy for you. Or you can still, I haven't looked for them recently, but if you get some for your fish, I know that they've been really kind of blocking off that avenue for getting into, but check out fish stuff for treating things, okay? In case your fish need to be treated. If you haven't gone down that rabbit hole before, Google it, and there are some videos still somehow online. I don't know how, but make sure you're using them just for your fish then. All right. Antibiotics so that you can treat things. That's the kind of stuff that if an infection gets out of control, a wound gets out of control, and you get things in your system or food poisoning, antibiotics can really, really drop the mortality rate in your family down dramatically. That's what some of the biggest effect of the modernization have been for life expectancy has been basically antibiotics. Now, if you're using natural antibiotics, and that stuff has a lot of experiments and a lot of documentation behind it, like garlic, fresh garlic, and other antibiotics out there. Definitely look into that if you want to, but make sure that you are squared away to treat infections and bacterial stuff. All right. Number 2, wound care. If somebody gets injured, you need to be able to stabilize them and then also get them to a place where they're doing okay and that they can start to heal on their own. So basically, if someone gets an open cut, large cut, some kind of wound, make sure that they can be stabilized with you. Because they may not be able to get into a hospital right away. Okay, so that's stuff. Know what to do, and also have the stuff to do it. In case you guys are kind of wondering where I am as astonished as you. I have a skylight. I'm in a hostel. I'm in a hostel. This is quite a surprise that this room is quite this nice. This is just I got a like lazy boy chair over there. This is just nuts. And you should see the bathroom, the shower. It's a little bit older and stuff like that, but it's nice, and it's not. It was cheap too, so cool. Cool beans. And my feet hurt so bad from all the walking I did today. I can't even get up. I haven't tried out the chair yet, and I won't be able to go out to dinner. So it looks like I'm just going to be eating these fake bugles that I got at the grocery store 2 days ago. So anyway, number three. 1, stock up on gas. Number 2, medical stuff, because medical staff has a tendency to flee. And also hospitals can be overwhelmed by medical disasters and large numbers of casualties. 3, alternative comms. Communications, friends. You need to have alternative ways of communicating. If your phone stops working, it could stop working for multiple reasons, right? It could stop working because the towers stop working, because the government flips the switch and everyone's internet and all that goes away. What happens then? Having radios and being able to access people who are broadcasting on the radio, on amateur bands and stuff like that, is going to be important. Any kind of off-grid communication that you can do that does not use your cell phone, does not use internet. Regularly around elections and civil unrest, you will see other countries, they flip the switch and they shut everything down. They shut off the cell phones, they shut off the internet. A lot of times what they'll do is they'll shut off the internet to the cell phones. And so they'll make it so that only phone calls They'll shut down text even. I've seen that happen overseas. So be aware of that. That is a step that they will take. They can do that to localized areas. They can also do that to larger areas. Usually in other countries, it's like they shut down the whole country. In the United States, they might shut down a state. They might shut down a metropolitan area. You may not be able to communicate with people inside a city. If you have family members that are located there, you may not be able to communicate with them unless you have alternative ways of communicating with them. Obviously, if you're making phone calls and your phone calls don't go through, texting is the next thing to try because sometimes your texts will go through when the phone calls won't. Next thing to do is to text other people that may be from different areas to try that third person. That's a way to do that as well. Make sure you have battery backups for your phones. If your phones stop working because you don't have any more power, that's on you. That's on you. Make sure you have definitely enough power to power your cell phones, a way of recharging them, whether it's a hand crank or what. Have a radio to receive government broadcasts, but then also some sort of way to receive other broadcasts, right? Shortwave, CB radio is also a useful tool there. Not too many people are using CB anymore, except in some of the larger city areas, but you don't need a license for that. You can just broadcast on it. And I think when there are difficulties with cell phones, you're going to see a whole bunch of people hop on the CBs. So CBs, have any other way to get on the internet is super good. Nowadays, Starlink is actually a possibility. The Starlink, I think it's Roam or something like that, plan, you can pause it. So you can get it, and then you can pause the subscription and only turn it back on when you need it. So I'm not sure how that works or if that's good for emergencies or whatever, but I've started looking at Starlink a little bit. I'll probably be looking at that more in the next couple months and seeing how useful it is to me. I know other people are looking at that too. But other ways of communication, and this kind of leads into number 4. You don't need to communicate with people if you've already discussed the plan. Discuss the plans, okay? Go over your plans with loved ones, especially loved ones who live in other places. Friends that you may be trying to coordinate with that live in other places that you can't just hop over the fence and talk to them. If communications go down, do they know what you're going to do? Do they know several options of what you might do? Do they know that, like, if you're in this situation, you're going to come to their house? Or do they know that if you get into trouble and you have to leave your home, they know that you're heading to so-and-so's house? Do they know where you're headed, what you're going to do, and kind of what's going on with that? That's important stuff. If you have family spread all over the country, where are they going to go? You know, if they need to eventually get somewhere to regroup, where's everyone going to go? What's the plan? What's your bug out plan? Where are you going to go? I keep saying it, but I know a lot of you guys don't have a plan. You may have bug out bags, but you don't have a bug out plan. Bug out plan. And always, it's a good idea to have a bug out plan that you've never searched, okay? Something that you've never Googled. Some place that you've either been a very long time ago, or you kind of know how to kind of go there, or maybe you just think it's a good place to go and just never search that place. It's the kind of place that if you ever need to just drop off the grid and disappear because maybe people are looking for you, that's a good one to have. But I'm talking about your regular bug out plan, your alternate bug out plan. Where are you going to go in those cases? How are you going to get there? What's your bug in plan? Under what circumstances are you going to not go outside? And that's going to lead into number 5 here. But before I get off this plan, communicate. okay? That's the top big things. Plan and then communicate those plans to the people that are relevant and need to know. Because communications is the first thing to become a luxury in a crisis. You can just imagine through how many disaster movies you've seen, how many of these movies are all centered around somebody traveling across the country because they're trying to contact somebody because they don't know what happened to them. Don't do that, okay? If you're going to have to travel across the country in a post-apocalyptic crisis zone, that's terrible when you could just have a quick face-to-face meeting, quick face-to-face brief. Hey, if something were to happen where I am, I'm probably going to be headed to this place. And if that doesn't work out, then I'm probably heading to this place. And if it's a long-term kind of thing where I can't talk to you guys and everything like that, I'm heading to this other place or to your place or whatever. Just so people kind of know what to expect. If they don't hear from you, then they know a couple places where you might be. If they don't find you at your home, they're going to find you here or they're going to find you there. Now, plans can change for sure, but if you know where people are going to look for you, you can leave a note. Right? Anyway, communicate. Number 5, this is your bug-in plan, and just your food, water, your preps, food and water. Most of you are probably pretty good on food, okay? Water. Make sure your water is squared away, that whatever system you think you're going to be using, make sure you've tested it and make sure that it's reliable. Have redundant systems. Collection of water, treatment of water, water. And stored water is the best, okay? Because you don't have to treat it. You don't have to worry about it. It's already good to go. And this comes into this. Stay home when trouble surrounds you, okay? When you don't have a good place to go, when things are relatively okay at home, don't go to the store. Don't go downtown where there's that big crazy thing happening, okay? Don't do what everyone else is doing. Stay away from those places. Prepare so that you can hunker down and see how things go. If you're not the first person at the Walmart on November 6th, that's all right. You can just kind of wait back and just see how things go. We'll have reports. Some of you guys will chime in and let us know what's going on out there. Let other people be the guinea pigs, okay? Let other people figure out what's going on. When trouble happens, stay home. Just don't go there. The best thing you can do is not be where something bad is happening. All right, friends, those are the 5 things. Let me know what I've missed. Obviously, there's so much more to go, but other things that maybe people should be thinking about. I think that staying out of trouble is the best thing right now, and making sure that you're prepared to just hunker down and be prepared to flee if you need to flee. That's the game plan out there. I know some people are going to immediately go to security and such like that, and that's not necessarily a bad idea, but the first order of security is don't be where the bad stuff's happening, okay? Have the stuff you need, but make sure you're not where the bad stuff is happening. All right, friends, thanks so much for joining us. If you want to check out another video from this channel, there's one right up there. I'll see you over there, or I'll see you guys later. Steve Poplar of the Poplar Report out.